All right, so if you're watching this video, you kind of want to know where to start your assignment for today. If you notice, you have several indications that are telling you that you have a test tomorrow. So I need you to remember that you have a test tomorrow, and it's going to cover everything that you see in today's assignment. Okay, as far as what is a mole, what is molar mass, I'm pretty sure that you can go back and look as far as what those definitions are, or even look for it on the internet, okay, using your laptop. But let's go ahead and take a look at the calculations. Okay, so I know we went over molar mass yesterday, but this is a refresher for anybody that wasn't there or wants to see it one more time. So what I did is I gave you the answers for each of these, and that way you can check. If it doesn't come out exactly the same, don't forget that it could be that you and I round it differently. But if it comes out pretty close, maybe yours comes out to 296.64, for example, then that's okay. It just has to do with the rounding. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at how you would do questions 3 through 5. Okay, so I have an example. None of the ones that you have on that paper. It's actually different, which is okay. That's why it's an example. So if you look at my example, and we'll look up here. Okay, to find the molar mass, you're going to have to separate the elements. So here I'm showing that I have 1 mole of calcium because we don't have a number that's in front of calcium. So when it doesn't have a number, it's assumed to be 1. This parentheses means that you're going to distribute this 2 inside of it. So it means we have 2 oxygens because 2 times 1 is 2. And then this 2 distributes to the 1 hydrogen, making it 2 hydrogens. Okay. Once you have that, you're going to multiply every single mole for that element by the mass or atomic mass in the periodic table. So just to show you, calcium, if we look it up, it's 40.08. Oxygen, you're going to find it's 15.999, which I went ahead and I rounded to 16. And then hydrogen is 1.008. which I can also easily round to 1.01. Okay, so you know where we got these numbers, so now we multiply. Once we multiply, we get 40.08, 32, and 2.02 grams. So what you're going to do is you're going to add them all, and that gives you your final molar mass or answer for that compound. So what that means is that saying that it's your molar mass, you're pretty much saying that in 1 mole of calcium hydroxide, there are 74.10 grams. That is a mass of 1 mole of that substance. Okay, so now you can go ahead and follow this example and do questions 3 to 5. For the other one that you guys will be doing, it's a percent composition. So now you're looking at, how do I go about doing questions 6 and 7? What do I do? Okay, again, you can go ahead and check your answers because I've given you the answers there. I'm concerned about you showing the work and showing me that you know how to do this. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and go over our example here. Okay, so for the percent composition, I went ahead and used the same compound. Okay, so here we go. We still have calcium hydroxide. Okay, if you notice, I'm doing it exactly how I did my molar mass. Notice what we did before. Same steps. But the only difference to get a percent composition is you want to know the percent of each individual element that's in that formula. So to do that, you're going to divide each individual mass by the total molar mass. So this 40.08 gets divided by 74.10. This 32 gets divided by 74.10. And this 2.02 gets divided by 74.10. Because we don't want decimals for our percentages, we're going to multiply each of our answers by 100. Once you do that, you get 54.09% of calcium. You've got 43.18% of oxygen. And you've got 2.73% of hydrogen. Okay, just to check your answer, you can add all of them and it should come out to 100%, or at least 99.99%. If you have anything like 97%, 102%, that's not close enough. You must have done something wrong. Maybe it was with the rounding. But that's how you go about doing percent composition. And that's something we learned yesterday. Okay, for the next section, you're being asked to determine the empirical formula when you're given a molecular formula. Okay, remember, that's a super easy concept. But here's pretty much what you're doing. Okay, so here's our example. They're giving us the molecular formula, C4H6O10. All you have to do is reduce this 4, this 6, and 10 into its simplest whole number ratio. Simplify like you would do in math. Okay, so looking at our subscripts, we look at the ratio. We've got a 4 to 6 to 10. 4, 6 to 10. Okay, so all three of these numbers, ask yourself, are divisible by what? All three of them are divisible by 2. If we divide each number by 2, it gives us this new simple ratio. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So now we change the subscripts in the formula to 2, 3, and 5. That's our empirical formula, and that's our answer. So as you do the ones in the assignment, remember, you're simply simplifying the subscripts. Okay, moving along. Okay, so this is probably one of the things that is probably scaring you for this exam. But no worries, if you follow the very close prescription that was given to you in those notes, you'll be able to do just fine. Okay, so what I went ahead and did is I highlighted or underlined what my given was and what they're asking me to find. And remember, all the answers are there so you can verify to see if you're doing this right. Okay, so if I look at the notes that I received yesterday, it's going to give you how to set up this problem. So it's telling me that my given is in grams, specifically 35.90 grams, and they're asking me to find moles. So if you recall from the notes or looking through your notes, you're going to find where it says given is grams and I'm finding moles. And it gives you something like this. Okay, so here you have it. You're going to set up the problem exactly the way you see it. So it says set up the given in grams first. Okay, I went ahead and put the dimensional analysis, and you have to show all these in dimensional analysis. That's the most important part. Not so much of can you punch it into the calculator or can you like do it in your calculator. It's how do you show the dimensional analysis to show the cancellation of units. Okay, so given is in grams. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to put 35.90 grams in this box because that's what this shows in the notes. Okay, so there it is. There's my given. My given is 35.90 grams of calcium phosphate. Okay, so according to the notes, it then says to put the molar mass. So you might be asking molar mass of what? What's molar mass? Remember, we just finished talking about molar mass in this video. But you're finding the molar mass of the only formula that's in that question. So it's going to be of calcium phosphate. Funny thing is that if you look at what you did already in the front, there's your molar mass of calcium phosphate. You should have already done it. So it's going to be 310.18 grams. So 310.18 grams of calcium phosphate. Okay, so according to the notes, it says where we're going to put a mole. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're following it to the T. So 1 mole, it doesn't tell us of what, because of course, every question is different. But we know that we're talking about this compound, or it could have been this atom, or this molecule. So it's going to be 1 mole of calcium phosphate. Okay, So there you have it. It's set up. So now you just have to remember that if the numbers are side by side to one another, you multiply them. So anything multiplied by 1 is the same. So in other words, this is still 35.90. If the numbers are on the top and bottom, then you enter the top number first from the in the calculator and you divide by the bottom number. So in the calculator, you're pretty much entering 35.90 divided by 310.18. Okay, so 35.90 divided by 310.18. All right, so once we do that, we find out that it comes out to 0.1157. I'm going to round it. I don't want to put all all those numbers. So if you notice, in the answer, it's 0.12. The 5 rounds that 1 into a 2, and it matches the answer that we have. Don't forget to put the units. So this gram cancels with this gram of calcium phosphate because they're the same. So your answer is going to be whatever number you get in the calculator plus moles of calcium phosphate behind it. So just like our answer there, 0.12 moles of calcium phosphate. Whoops. And I'm forgetting to put the little 3's. So it's important to always put all the information. There's a 3. There's a 3. And then 4. And 2. Okay. So now what I need for you to do is go through the entire, or the rest of it, I should say, the rest of the assignment. Use your notes from yesterday. Find out which one gives you how to do it and follow that setup. Once you follow that setup, remember, side by side you multiply and top and bottom you divide. If you guys have any questions, make sure that you send any messages to Remind. Don't forget that the Remind codes are up on the board. If you look right underneath the flag, the American flag, you're going to see that there's a yellow paper with all the codes for the Remind. So good luck doing this, and don't forget that you have a test tomorrow.